Welcome to Norm Macdonald Live. Larry King with us for the full hour. Larry King used to always say that.
Yeah.
For the full hour. But he will be with us for the full hour.
Can't wait.
Other than these opening remarks that I make with you.
Yeah.
My trusty sidekick, Adam Eget.
Absolutely.
You know who you are.
Of course.
So, how was your week?
It was great. How was yours?
I was not good.
Why?
Because last week's podcast, something came up that has disturbed me greatly, that has haunted my sleep and dreams like Morpheus.
Something that Billy Bob said?
Oh no, Billy Bob Thornton I thought was fascinating.
Oh, he was amazing.
It was the opening remarks from last week. Just as we're doing the opening remarks this week and every week, last week's opening remarks took an odd turn.
My trip to Coachella?
No, not that. That's how it started. We started talking about your trip to Coachella.
I don't know what you're
But
talking
then,
about.
you don't remember what we talked about that guy later?
No.
Well, try to remember. Think back to when you were the opening remarks last week.
Last week. Opening remarks last week. It'd be good to meet Larry King. Good night.
No, that was 5 minutes ago.
It was?
Yeah. God damn, man. Sometimes I think you got the attention span of a fucking hummingbird. Try to think back. Opening remarks last week.
Opening remarks last week. Last week.
No, you agreed to disagree about taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah, that too.
God, you have the memory of a fucking hummingbird. Fuck, you're a fucking stupid retard. Okay, listen. I'll remember for you, okay?
Yeah.
Opening remarks. Opening remarks. 420 was the birthday of Austrian-born German politician and the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, a fella went by the name of Adolf Hitler.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. You didn't know who Hitler was.
Yeah, like many of us, I didn't. But I do now. And let me tell you something. That guy's no good. Now, I grew up like you, thinking the Nazis were a bunch of funny fellas, because I watched Hogan's Heroes every week. But it wasn't like that. Oh, I know nothing. I see nothing. A lot less funny when you figure that was the cornerstone of the Nuremberg trials defense. Now, I think it's too late for Hitler. What are you going to do, build a time machine and go kill Hitler?
No.
Huh?
No.
I would if I could.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Of course, I would.
No, I would build a time machine and then use it to get ladies.
You could do, yeah, you could
You
do
could do
both.
both.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is this. I figure the reason that Hitler became popular was because people thought he was a clown, just a guy, he's not going to do anything. Then he almost took over the world, you know? Giving me nightmares. And I'm thinking there's guys nowadays, there's problems nowadays. You know I don't watch the news.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because the road is on at the same time.
Right.
But I've started to study up on through the computer, on the YouTube.
Study what? Like what?
Terrible people
Right.
that should be killed.
Like Hitler.
Maybe not killed, but
Yeah.
like Hitler. Yeah. And I found out, have you ever heard of the Falkland Islands?
Rings a bell, but I don't know much about it.
Oh, you're in it. I mean, can I just? It's all right. I didn't know.
it's fine.
I didn't know about it either. The thing about it is this: the Falkland Islands, a little archipelago near the South American coast, and the Argentinians. See, they were really the people that should have been in the Falklands. The British imperialists, they attacked the Falklands, you see, because there was still technically a colony. And under the autocratic hand of the Iron Maiden, is that her name? Margaret Thatcher?
Yeah.
They stripped the Falkland Island people of all their, in a terrible, bloody war back in the
Did this
80s.
happen? Oh, this didn't happen recently, then.
No.
But a lot of people died then?
I think it was on the news, when I saw it was none.
Oh. Well, what are you getting at? What are you going to do?
I'm getting at, you got to start somewhere.
Right, okay.
And I believe that the people of Falklands Islands should have what do you call it, control. That's not what you call it, but self, like, they should be able to control themselves. Good God.
What?
But you know who should really be able to control themselves? The fucking British imperialists.
Sure.
Who can't stop with their goddamn manifest destiny. Jesus Christ. This Margaret Thatcher, she has just a voracious appetite for land.
What do you intend to do about it, though?
I
mean, you're just one
tell you
man.
what I intend to do. I am one man, but I have decided that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I mean, not my actual money, because my money manager says that it's not a good time. He says that I should not diversify. I should stick with mutual funds. But anyways, the point of the thing I'm trying to say is this. I'm going to make a stand right here on the Video Podcast Network.
What did you do?
I started a hunger strike. That's right.
I picked you up this morning. Remember that?
Yes.
We went to Denny's. You had 2 eggs over my hammy and half my pancakes. Then on the way over here, we stopped at 7-Eleven. You remember that?
Yeah.
You had a few hot dogs and a big bag of pork rinds.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes ago, you had 4 donuts and a chip whiz.
Yeah, well, you snooze, I eat half your fucking pancakes, fucker. But listen, that was to bulk up, to carb up for my big
run.
For my big hunger strike.
Okay.
So this is my promise
Okay.
to the people of the Video Podcast Network world. I will not eat a single morsel of food until Margaret Thatcher is dead and buried.
She died 3 weeks ago. We'll be right back with Larry King.
He is the legendary television and radio broadcaster with 2 Peabodys and 10 Cable Ace Awards. He was the host of Larry King Live for 25 years. Now he hosts Larry King Now on Hulu and Aura TV. With us, the Iron Horse of broadcasting.
It's iron. You don't pronounce it iron.
That's what everybody tells me.
It's the Iron Horse. Like Lou Gehrig was the Iron Horse of baseball.
Yes.
The word I-R-O-N is iron. No, iron.
Iron.
Right. Not. It should be iron. That's what makes English the world's toughest language.
Yeah.
You know, right? Sure.
It is the
Because
toughest
toughest
language.
language
To
to
me,
learn.
it's the easiest.
Yeah, well, you were born with it.
Yeah.
Except you screwed up with the first one you said.
That's true.
It's not iron. It's iron.
Do you think Lou Gehrig actually was the luckiest man in the world?
No, I think he's going to die in 8 months. I didn't understand. I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, what would you have said?
Son of a bitch.
So the first question is this. What's your favorite Twilight Zone episode?
Oh, great question.
The one I remember that focuses back on me is when the plane is flying from London and time went back, and when they're going to land,
World's Fair,
there's dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
And
It
they
was
look
the
down, the
World's
pilot
Fair,
sees
right?
dinosaurs.
Yeah, you believe in dinosaurs?
No. Well, there must have been, but I knew Rod Serling, interviewed him, and he was a fascinating guy. You know, he smoked 5 packs. I used to smoke. He smoked 5 packs a day. But he had a very creative mind, and we talked a lot about the difference between old-time radio and television. You know, radio was fascinating. I grew up with the suspense and Inner Sanctum and the Shadow. They were incredible.
The Shadow knows.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. The best was suspense. That's how suspense. I used to listen to this. That's how I got into broadcasting. I'd be 6, 7 years old. I'd listen to this and imitate them. And now a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Arch Obley used to call Lights Out. Crawl under your couch, lower your blinds, lock your doors, and turn your lights out.
Lord God.
Anyway, Rod Serling said when I used to write for radio, you could scare people just because of the imagination. It was the theater of the mind. So when he wrote for radio, he'd write like, "There's a dark, foreboding castle at the top of the hill." That could be anything you want to make it. If you heard the right voice, say dark, foreboding, the right music.
If I heard that, I would think of Adam Eget's one-bedroom apartment in West Hollywood.
But if it's television, the guys come in and say, "What kind of castle you want? You want to have?" So it takes away the imagination. That's what I loved about radio.
It's like that
So that's my Rod Serling.
Now, Rod Serling, he began in early television as they had those big writers that would write those awful things.
Yeah.
And then he became a science fiction guy.
Oh, he was great. And his brother, Bob Serling, was the aviation editor of the Associated Press. And he did a book on test. He went with airlines when they go to test a plane. Like if Delta orders a Boeing 757, they have pilots that just go to test that. They pick it up. They pay them $28 million. You ought to test it. And what these guys do is they fly around the country and look for problems from weather. They look for hurricanes. They look for tornadoes.
They actively
and they
search
test.
out?
Yeah, they
Oh,
actively
God.
search high winds. And he went with them once. He puked this guy. He wrote a whole great article on what it's like. These guys are, "Oh, there's a bad one. Let's go there." Checking out these
I
planes.
feel like puking just starting
That was
this
Rod's brother.
podcast.
I'm
I
so
can't
full of
imagine.
information, aren't I?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Subscribe to Nom Burger King.